What's going on, fellas? It's the NHL Kid back again with another video. Today, I'm going to be ranking the NHL games of the past generation. So every NHL game that was on the Xbox One and the PS4. Quickly, let's just talk about the NHL 21, like what's up with that. EA put up pre-orders for that, and yet we haven't seen a single teaser, a single trailer, or even a feature list, and they expect people to spend 120 Canadian on a deluxe edition. But yeah, I can make another video about that, but yeah, let's get into the actual video. Coming in at 6th place, or absolute dead last, is the game you all knew was going to be dead last, and that's obviously NHL 15. For the entirety of its lifespan on the Xbox One and PS4, it was absolute bare bones, missing several game modes, and this was the start of the laggy menus that be still kind of a problem today. It all started with NHL 15, and even the game modes that they left, it was completely stripped down. Be a pro, especially unplayable. You couldn't sim to your next shift. You had to watch your teammates, your AI teammates play while you're on the bench. Like, yeah, that's very fun. They even removed EASHL, which is probably the second biggest online mode in the game, so man, I could go on all video about this, but anyway, NHL 15 in 6th place. Alright, 5th place might be a little bit of a surprise to some of you, but I think the ones that have seen my Truth About NHL 21 video know my displeas about it, and that is NHL 20. NHL 20 was a disappointment for me. It had that garbage soundtrack, and if you heard the other video, I disabled it. First NHL game where I actually disabled the soundtrack. And I don't get how they could have made it this much worse than NHL 19, because it's really nothing new from NHL 19. Except the fact, like, if you want to count Eliminator as a new game mode, even though it's just 3s and 1s, but made it into a battle royale, it's brutal. There's no innovation in NHL 20. The menu is the exact same as NHL 19, but slower. The skating is the same. Oh yeah, plus, that one thing they were marketing constantly, they're like, oh yeah, we got this new real player motion technology, but it's just the shots. Like, the shots do nothing. It just looks different. It didn't change the gameplay at all, and it shows the thing that they were highlighting their game upon. I don't get it, and I'll give it credit for one thing. The hut, I enjoyed the hut for a few months, because the packs you were able to get packs if you were free to play. Even if you ignore the past criticisms, perhaps the most frustrating part of the game are the metas. The metas are the 2 or 3 moves that just work every single time. It's the backhand forehand, backhand on a breakaway, it's a one-hand tuck, and it's the cross-face. The goalies have no chance of stopping that, and that's all players do. They force it, and it created for terrible gameplay and very repetitive game that is just ultimately unenjoyable. But with the mini NHL 20 rant out of the way, we can move on finally to the number 4 spot, and I have NHL 16. Nothing too bad about NHL 16, it's just a mediocre game from memory. Soundtrack, I checked, it actually only had 10 songs, but for some reason, I didn't find it very annoying, even though NHL 20 had more and was clearly more annoying for me. But NHL 16 did bring back EASHL, so that's something it had going for it. The menu was nice, where they had that custom one based on your favorite team. I like that. Maybe they bring it back. Yeah, and Be a Pro was playable again. So they fix a few things from NHL 15. It just ends up being a mediocre game. I think my number 3 and my number 2 spot could be interchangeable, but I'll go with what I have down here. Number 3 is NHL 18. It was built on a great 17, and it didn't stay complacent like NHL 20, where they copy and paste. It had a decent soundtrack. The expansion and franchise mode, it's actually a very good addition that has stayed in every following game. I like that about franchise mode. 3s is introduced, if you can see in the gameplay, but gameplay is NHL 20. 3s was fun, especially Circuit. I grinded the hell out of Circuit with my brother. A good offline game mode. Very few of those in Chell. This game was also the game where they introduced the defensive skill stick. It was a great addition, because now there's like some some more strategy to the defensive end. You have more control on what you want to do defensively, and maybe it got a little bit abused in 18, but at least they introduced it and worked upon it from there. So, NHL 18 is the number 3 game. So our number 2 spot belongs to NHL 17. Yeah, it was similar to 18, but there were a few differences that set them apart and made them both great in their own way. NHL 17 introduced club progression for ESHL, which was huge for SHL players like myself, so that you actually start from a beer league team and then you build your way up to pro. That's something we never saw before then. Draft champions, even though draft champions has kind of fizzled out in my opinion in the last couple years, it was best in 17, the one that introduced it. You'd play with the good HUT cards without playing HUT. It was honestly just fun gameplay. Not too much to say about that. The soundtrack was okay. And yeah, our number 2 spot is NHL 17. Alright, so if any of you guys are good at math and counting, you would figure out that we are at our number 1 spot. And using the method of elimination, you'd figure out that that number 1 spot belongs to NHL 19. It's easily NHL 19 in my opinion. And this isn't just a hindsight thought now that I've played 20 and hated it. No, I knew 19 was good when I was playing it. 1 month in, 2 months in, 8 months in. It was fun the whole time through. This time, the real player motion technology actually made a huge difference in gameplay. The game actually felt very different from the previous entries in the series, gave it a revitalization. Even if the beta was a little more, just a little tad more fun with how crazy the skating was in there, I still found the core game amazing. It was yeah, like I said, easily the best. World of Chell, this was huge, bringing the game outdoors, because ODR is such a fundamental piece of hockey culture. Surprising it took them that long, but World of Chell combined 1s, 3s, and EASHL. 1s was a fun game mode. I like 1s. Even if the goals are scored the same way every time, just skate across the crease, it's fun, you know. And the customization, you have you can actually express yourself with your character and your rude names. But yeah, top tier soundtrack, best gameplay, our number 1 game of the generation is NHL 19. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Leave your list, because my list isn't the right list. I want to see your guys' opinions as well. If you like the video, you can like it, and I will see you fellas in the next one.